Let's talk about the first news.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's coming back. Trials of Osiris returns to Destiny next season. They announced this today, right?
I mean, have you?
They announced it last night. So this is what happened. So there's been an event. I'm sure Tripp has talked about it, which was the Empyrean Foundation, which was an event that started at the beginning of this season. And essentially what the community has been doing is they've been saving up and donating material to a centralized pool. Last night at 10:15, we reached the final stage as a community. It opened up a cutscene, and then immediately after that, Bungie tweeted, we have a reveal stream happening at 11 p.m. And it said, Trials returns. That was like the title of it. Trials returns, dev team talk, or, dev whatever. And then there was a video that we're now seeing talking about the return of Trials and giving us a very quick sneak peek into the return of Trials of Osiris.
So you never played Trials of Osiris on your PC?
So when there was a very, very brief moment where Tripp, Neo, and I, when we all very first started playing Destiny on PC, Trials of the Nine, which was the Destiny 2 version of Trials, was still happening on PC, and we tried to hop in there. I was still a new PC gamer. Tripp was still a new PC gamer. Neo, I think, had just gotten Destiny 2, and we got demolished.
Well, I had it on PS4, and I bought it on PS. I bought it on PC. Yeah.
But I wouldn't even really call that us playing it, because it wasn't the case. So, So at this point, we know it's coming back. It's coming back March 13th. Which is a Friday, of course. It's coming back on the weekends. Luke Smith, in the intro to this video, talks about him and his friends. That was their Friday night, and that's how it was for me too, back on Xbox. Every Friday night, Jeezum Crow and myself and one other person from our friends list.
It was quite frequently me.
You or anybody, man. There was a bunch of people we played with.
Yeah.
That's what we did on Friday nights or Saturday nights. It was one of the evenings over the weekend we dedicated to doing 3 flawless runs on all of our characters, and I looked forward to it week after week after week. And at a certain point, it wasn't for loot, because you go flawless enough, you get all the loot. It was just the competitive nature of going flawless.
Yeah.
I
told you.
Was this a reoccurring thing?
It's every week, every weekend. It happens every weekend.
That's when it comes? Okay, that's cool.
So it comes Friday after reset, Friday reset. So midday on Friday it goes live, and it runs through Sunday night.
You're here to defend yourself. I wasn't throwing you under the bus.
You fucking threw me right under it, man. You threw me right under it. You made it sound like I just ditched you, man.
No, but I want you to clarify something, because I don't remember. So there was a period of time where I went comfortably with you and Jeezum Crow to the lighthouse, where we would go flawless constantly.
Sure.
I don't think anything changed in my ability or gameplay ability. Like, I played pretty much the same way, and there was an update that happened where the matchmaking changed.
Sure.
And they started matching us with like straight up pros every single time.
Yeah. So one of the big things that they announced, that Luke Smith announced for this after saying that it was returning, he did it on Twitter. He did like a 3-tweet response, is that they've decided to do connection and card-based matchmaking for this. So what that means is it's going to prioritize connection, but it's also going to prioritize to play someone that's on the same number of wins as you are.
Which was what they changed it to when toward the latter part.
Correct.
Right, and that's the thing that got me. Because
what it used to do is it used to just be strictly connection.
Yeah. And
on our flawless game, our final game, we could have played someone that was on game 1.
Right.
So we ended up having a better chance of playing a less skilled of the player base because of how it randomized matchmaking.
Right. And I love that because I'm not that good.
Now this for Destiny 2 is actually a great thing, because right now skill-based matchmaking exists, and it's part of the reason why Destiny PvP is in such an awful spot. Skill-based matchmaking is ranking against your hidden rank that you don't get to see. And it's essentially killed PvP for those that are in probably the top 30 percentile of the
Why
player
does
base.
skill-based matchmaking sound like it would be better?
Because there's no place for players to go to have fun.
Isn't that what non-ranked modes are for?
But there are none, right? So you don't have ranked and unranked in Destiny. You have survival, which used to be their competitive playlist, and now survival has a ranking system. It's just win-loss, right? You get points for winning, you lose points for losing. And that used to be glory-based, because that's the mechanic, is you earn glory. That used to be glory-based, and it used to be really hard to reach the top rank in glory because you would play better players as you progressed. Mm-hmm. Well, that stopped happening, and that became just connection-based and completely random, and it's utterly broken because you can play as a player with 2,000 glory can match against a team of all 5,000 glory players, and the matchmaking is not fair. You then, every other playlist that exists is skill based, meaning that I'm always going to play players at my skill, which is fine sometimes.
Sometimes you just want to roll face,
right? So it's not even that. You end up not being able to use any of the other guns that exist inside of the game because you have to run meta.
Got it.
Always.
That sounds
and you never get
really
to explore,
frustrating,
right?
Yeah. And that sounds kind of boring, actually.
So they have one playlist, which is called Classic Mix, which is connection-based. The problem is nobody plays the other playlists because everyone wants to just have fun. So everyone goes to the one playlist that's connection-based, and then it just becomes sweaty over again. Because the bottom-tier players and the middle-of-the-pack players, they're having a blast. They're enjoying Destiny PvP. The people that play 3 games a week, 5 games a week, they're enjoying it. Well, no, because they're playing against players in their skill bracket. They're playing the skill-based playlist because they're playing people of their skill. They're not getting stomped anymore, right? And for some, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to pub stomp, and I get it. We should protect that player base too. But if I'm a PvE player and I only play Crucible to get my bounties done, to get my weeklies done, and then I get the hell out, in my opinion, just like you protect the PvE experience, you should be protecting the PvP experience. It doesn't mean that we protect the 1% and they're the only voice that matters. There's definitely a balance. But right now it's all out of whack. So having connection-based plus the card means that there's going to be a good balance, meaning I should not play somebody that's at their first match and stomp them.
No, I mean, for Trials, I didn't like it, but it makes perfect sense that as you go up the trial, you should not be playing people because you're all at 9 wins or
8 wins, whatever the card is. Yeah.
If you're at 8 wins, the people who are at 8 wins should be the most skilled players by logic. You know what I mean?
Right.
By the lore of the game.
Yeah.
Like
right. It's end game content. Like you should
someone who made it to 8 should,
Yeah. Like they talk about in the video, like there's gonna be a something signifying that you went flawless that week. When you walk around the tower, people are going to know you went flawless, and you want to be proud of that, right? So you should earn it, right? The other problem with the connection-based and the skill-based matchmaking, really quickly, and then I'll get off my soapbox, is they have really poor lobby balancing. Have you heard of lobby balancing in matchmaking before?
When they balance the skilled players among the two teams.
So when I go into a lobby, if I'm the highest ranked player with my skill that I can't see, like my MMR is the highest, I am going to get the bottom team, the bottom set of players on my team because they think I can carry the weight of the rest of the team. Which means that the other team ends up having a better team composition because that might be players 3 through 6.
That's if you matchmake, though.
Correct.
That's
like
not...
in the current matchmaking system.
Oh,
take Trials out of the equation.
Right now, can you still go in with like a team of like 6 people that are friends?
Sure, you could.
But if you were playing by yourself.
But if I was playing by myself, which happens often, or there's 2 of us going in, right? So like if me and Nimbus go in, who have a higher MMR rating, we are always going to get, out of the 12 players, we're going to get the bottom 4 players of that lobby every time.
That's bad.
Right? So then that means me and him
do more work,
which means I can't play around and fuck around with other guns because I'm not gonna. And I don't like to lose. I can't go in and lose. I mean, that's just not who I am.
That's unheard of, man.
Right?
Why would you do that?
I can't do that. I don't like doing that, right? Like, it's this balance that's become.
And sometimes it's probably incredibly obvious to you that you just got paired with some weird scrubs that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
And I mean, it's not the player's fault, right? Like, I'm not upset that I have a team of people that don't know what they're doing. They shouldn't. Like, we shouldn't be here together. Like So the community is excited about this. To go back to Trials, comes back the 13th. To our knowledge, it's going to be the same exact way that Trials existed before.
Now I heard you guys talking earlier.
Yeah.
Apparently they're letting you use the artifact in it.
Yeah. So
this is a problem.
This is the biggest point of controversy.
I saw Glad tweeting about this.
Yeah, and the community manager has also commented on it publicly and said that it's going. So now inside of the game, you have your seasonal artifact. That seasonal artifact can be leveled throughout the season, and each time you reach a new level, or it's every 3 levels, whatever. As you level, you gain a light level. So not just like your gear level doesn't. So people can get to, like, right now 970 is the max. Someone can correct me. I think it's 970, 980, something like that. But there's players with 1100 power.
I think it's 970 because Tripp was saying he was trying to get.
He was trying to get 970, right? So there's players that are plus 30, plus 40 over the max because they've played so much Destiny that their artifact is going up and their light level is increasing, right? Well, they're saying that is going to be in effect for Trials. Well, the problem with that is if I go in at 970 and I face you that's at 1,000, you're going to do more damage against me, and I'm going to do less damage against you because you have a better defense, right?
Right.
Like, just like it works in PvE. If I'm over leveled, the content's going to be easier. The same thing exists with PvP. So they mentioned this in the video, and everyone picked that apart. Moment one, people are already tweeting about it last night at 11:20 when the video ends. Everyone's already talking about it. Millions of posts went up on Reddit, on Crucible Playbook, which is the PvP Destiny Reddit, Destiny the game. Everyone's talking about it. And then Cosmo, the community manager, said, we are making it live, meaning your light level will matter, your artifact level will matter. We already know people are upset about it, but we're taking a wait and see approach to see how it goes.
Wow. I mean, I think they're already on the course for what they've prepared, right? So, like,
yeah, I mean, I think I think they could disable the artifact if they wanted to. I don't know if there's maybe some consequences to it where they can't do it. You know, we're kind of armchair developers in this point to think that they could just turn it on or off. It might not be that easy.
We're best at.
That's what we are best at. Yeah. Especially our Discord. Our entire community is really great at being armchairies. So, you know, I don't know how this is going to pan out. I don't think it's a good idea. I was getting in a little bit of a debate with Jay from our Discord earlier because he was, you know, heavily disagreeing with this decision, and I agree it's not a great decision. But this won't affect anybody when Trials first comes out, right? When Trials first comes out, that first weekend, everyone's going to be the same light level. It's not going to matter. It will be a problem 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, if players decide to abuse this, where they just decide to go play nothing but PvE and do nothing but bounties over and over and over again to get to a very high light level to give themselves an advantage in Trials. So I think it will be a problem. How big of a problem will it be? I think that remains to be seen.
So we won't know for sure like a week or two in?
No, when it first comes out. So I think the season, I don't know when the season releases. I would imagine the season releases on
March 13th.
Well, no, that's a Friday, so I would imagine it releases on a Tuesday. Season of the Worthy starts on March 10th, and Trials starts on the 13th. So that first Trials weekend, 3 days after the season launches, no one's going to be at a high light level, right? You might be people might be a few light levels over one another, but that's not enough to cause a disadvantage. You need to be 30, 40, 50 light levels above someone else for it to really be a problem.
I mean, I don't know if that really matters when you take into the context of the amount of wins matchmaking.
So this was my point to Jay in the Discord today, which he didn't agree with, which is the PvE gods that do nothing but farm their light level are never going to face me. No. Because I don't want to be a dick, but they're not going to be able to get high enough in the card. right? So like I'm not going to face them. He seems to think that PvP players are going to no-life the PvE content to get an advantage in Trials, and I just don't think the players that I'm concerned about are going to do that. I think there will be players that try and abuse it this way to give themselves an advantage to get to the lighthouse, but I don't think people are going to abuse it in the way that I think the internet as a whole, not just Jay, the internet as a whole thinks that people are going to abuse this, and they might, but I don't think that's the case. I think the people that you end up facing as you progress through the card, is there a chance that we play them on the first 3 wins? Sure, because at that point everyone's on the same playing field, right?
You also might meet that guy that's like you, but he's also really good at PvE.
Maybe.
And he gets himself like super OP, but then he's also like a god.
But
when it comes
right, so that's
what also might end up being you.
Yeah, maybe, but it's not because I barely finish my 100 levels.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't play enough of it, even when I am playing it. So
you kind of got to hit like every part of the game and like
people that get this high,
no life it.
Literally no life. All you do is
your new favorite phrase.
I love it.
So So the other criticism is based off of this, which is 3 D1 maps are returning. Some really great maps. Cauldron, which was the spooky one, right? Yeah. Anomaly, which is the which is the inside one with the spinning. Yeah. That me, you, and Trip played on one time. Yeah, Anomaly, and then Anomaly. Exodus Blue, I think it was, or Exodus Crash, or Exodus something, which is another one.
That was exclusive to PlayStation, I think.
No, it was on Xbox. It's the one that had the train on the one side.
Oh yeah.
So those are all returning, which they're all great maps. And then the original Trials of the Osiris armor is returning. The cat one that's returning.
I think I had that.
And then some new weapons and skins. So yeah, it's up on the screen,
cat
right?
There,
yeah. So that's all returning. So then the internet immediately goes, why did it take so long to bring the game mode back if it's not going to be any different? We're going to get the same maps, we're going to get the same armor. And I agree with that to a certain extent. But we've also been saying for quite some time that that's all we want is for them to bring back the game mode. And if it took them time to bring it back because they wanted to tie it into lore and story, then I think it's perfectly fine for them to have taken this long. Because they tied this in to the overarching story of the entire game, which is something they did not do well in D1. And this is all tying in.
All right.
Very weird.
We're back.
That's going to be weird for Demos, isn't it?
It is. It's fine. We'll just restart it.
Cool.
Yeah, so I am very, very excited for Trials to return. I think there's a lot of things to be concerned about. I think there's a lot of things to be excited about. And I'm already looking forward to the March 13th weekend. I'm definitely going to be streaming it. And I'm excited. Yeah, so it's big news. Trials returns, or returns of Trials, was trending on Twitter last night. Even with the fucking debate happening, it was trending on Twitter, which was crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
You know, you had like 100,000 people in the YouTube waiting room lobby waiting for the video to start.
It's funny, despite how like divisive the community is of Destiny, it's massive. And they love it enough to get upset when it's not what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I get it. I've been on the opposite side of the aisle where all I've been is toxic and complain. I guess I'm just trying to remain positive and hopeful for this, and I have absolutely no problem not playing it anymore if they release this and it sucks. They've neglected PvP for far too long. The meta is stale. They haven't addressed matchmaking issues. Trials has been gone for over a year. So there's a lot of things for people to be salty about. But right now, I'm excited. So more to come. A few weeks. We're almost there.
I guess we'll find out. We'll hear more about it.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks on that, right?